Hello everybody, Ron Salter here with an interesting video, and the title of this is Sometimes Old School Methods Are Still the Best. I am looking forward to showing you something I learned at the age of 16 years old, and it still holds true today. I'm really excited for you to see this. It's something probably very rarely seen, and it's just a good thing to have in your toolbox. And it's not a tool, it's knowledge. What are we talking about? We're talking about old school diagnostic methods. Now, real quickly, how did I come about this knowledge? Well, you've heard me say in the past that at the age of 14, I started helping out David Penix, who was over R&D for Exeldine Technologies. He was also worked with a lot of NASCAR teams, and I started building engines at his shop every week. And we found each other because we wound up, when we moved in his area, we wound up going to his church, and that's how we met. He was kind enough to take me in and, put up with my inquisitiveness and put me to work. I'm so thankful for that. Well, later on in high school, our school bus mechanic, his name was Bill Welch, and I was a school athlete, and I went to the principal. I went to Bill Welch and I said, "Hey Bill, Mr. Welch," I called him, "I'd like to, help out in the garage, rebuilding buses and fixing them." He's like, "Well, we'd love to have you." I said, "Was there any way we could start a school or start a class?" He says, "Well, I don't know about that." So me and 4 or 5 other guys went to the school principal and asked him, could we, since we were ball players and we played on the sports, we were involved with 2-hour practices every day. So we asked if we could substitute, instead of going to PE class, could we go to work to the school, to the bus garage and work on the buses with Mr. Welch. And so Mr. Welch agreed, the principal agreed, so we got to get out of PE class and go work on the bus engines every day. And it was about, it was me and Jason Southern, J.J. Duggins, Eric Cook, those were the main ones. There was a few others, I'm sure, so sorry guys if I don't remember. You got to remember, guys, I went to a high school with a graduating class of 14, okay? So it wasn't hard to get things done like that. We didn't have several thousand seniors and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, we were working on one of the first jobs was, we had this about 74 model International school bus. And it had a 304 engine. So we pulled the engine out and it needed to be rebuilt. And it was using oil really bad. And Mr. Welch taught us a trick. He says, well, you can have excessive ring wear, your valve guides could be worn out, all the things that could cause oil consumption, including sucking it out through the PCV. And the one trick he showed me, stuck with me ever since I was 16 years old, was checking a piston for cracks. I never forgot it. And that's what I want to show you today. Please don't think this is boring. I'm going to pass on from another video of a guy I just met a couple months ago. His name's Ronnie. And he has the YouTube channel, Hillbilly Garage 1215. Now, I'm begging you nicely. I'm going to show this. But go to his channel and subscribe and hit like. He's got some really good stuff, especially he's developed a new tool for the Dodge Hemi with the cam bearings and the new Hemi engine block. Just check that out. But Ronnie is his name. I met Ronnie. He called me one day with some issues, and we got to talking, and we just kind of hit it off. And so now he texts me or calls me all the time. And he called me one day. He says, "Hey man, I got this engine," and he put a video on YouTube. I want you to see it. With the number 3 is a 350. He's building this engine for, I believe, a soldier that's stationed in some bad places right now. So he's building a 383 stroker. He started with a 350, and he's like, number 3 cylinder is puking oil. I mean, it's just all over the place coming out of the exhaust port. And he says, "I can't find where it's coming from." I said, "Did you check the guides?" He's like, "Yep, check the guides." The rings broke? Nope. Is there a lot of wear? I mean, you know, it's a lot of wear, 8, 9, 10 thousandths wear in a cylinder, right? But that's not going to cause puking oil. So, boom, it dawned on me. Oh yeah, I remember this. I haven't done this in a while, but Ronnie, I want you to check the pistons for cracks. And I have a unique way of showing you. So, please, watch the whole video. Check this out. I'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to Hillbilly Garage. Well, recently, I hope y'all watched the video, but we tore down Stroker's motor, the one that we're going to make a 383 out of, and we had some unanswered questions when we got done. Wondering why the number 3 spark plug was oil fouled, why there was more carbon cake on the bottom of the valves for number 3. And we were hoping to find a smoking gun with maybe a broken piston or a stuck ring. A broken ring or stuck oil ring. And we didn't. We did find a broken ring in number 6, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. So we were a little bit puzzled, but I was talking to a friend of mine, Brian Salter. If y'all have never visited his channel, Salter Racing Engine, you really need to go check that out, because he's a super sharp guy and he knows a whole lot about these things. But we were talking, and after he'd watched the video and going over some possibilities, and he suggested that I ring the pistons like a bell, upside down. And I hope y'all can hear this, because if you swing it from skirt to skirt, if you'll notice, these I hope you can tell the difference. This is like a kind of a deeper or a lower tone, and this one is a little bit higher pitch. And the one that's making the more noise is number 3. And I went through and I checked them against some pistons I got out of another motor, but they're not the same exact style. But you check all the other ones, and one sounds a little bit different as well. We think that we have this very similar problem with one that we found in number 3, and I'm really hoping that we can get an angle in the light for you guys to see this. The lighting over here was pretty good. And if you follow this arrow that I got drawn in the gold color, right here, I think y'all can see what we got going on. It shows the best right here in this smoother spot in a dish. Y'all see that?
All right, I'm gonna stop it right here. Check it out. It's cracked all the way down here, and actually curls into the valve pocket right here. And to me, they make a thud, more of a dead flat sound. But the important part is no matter how you describe the sound, that you realize there is an audible difference, because you have solid pistons hitting the rod versus pistons that are now cracked. And there will be, because of the crack, it stops the harmonic. Like if you thump a crystal glass, well, if you thump a crystal glass with a crack in it, it's not going to ring. And it's the same deal you have here with these pistons. And like I said, I learned this when I was 16 years old, and was able to share it with Ronnie. He's pointing to it there at the bottom. And then also he went and checked number 1, and it was cracked. And what else is, I want to show you this right here. It actually caused the top of the piston to have excessive wear on the side that it was cracked. So he thinks it's a scratch, and then he later sees that it is actually cracked all the way down the ringland there. Now I want you to notice, see all this right here, how it's kind of a dull, dull and shiny don't go together, do they? But this area, you can see there where it's more of the tannish brown, and then right around here you can see these gouges in there, and this it's a different color. Well, it's because this section of piston is protruded. You guys got to remember, the ringlands are like sometimes 30 thousandths or more smaller than the skirt area. So it's been hitting against the cylinder wall right here. And there's actually 2 cracks in this top piece. Most likely this was caused by overheating or even detonation from bad fuel from the overheating. So, but anyway, I wanted you to see that. Let's see, let's move here.
See marks.
Those
on
are
this part
deep,
above the ring.
Deep gouge marks.
And you can feel all that with your finger. And there's vertical. They even come up. The scratches continue all the way around. And you can see that the skirt.
Keep turning it for a minute. Keep turning it like you
This
were.
way?
No,
This way?
What I saw. Right there.
These look like these could be scratches.
Right there. Right there it is. Look where my mouse is. There is a scratch, a crack. Do you see it, guys? Right there. That is a crack in that piston. A second crack that they actually wind up seeing, and realizing it is a crack. His wife has got a good eye. That's his wife filming. So, wanted to share that with you. And like I said, number 1 piston wound up being cracked as well. And I'll show you that one right here. Let's get to that one. See, there's number 3. He's pointing to the crack on it.
So, I got the micrometer out, and I got the measurement off of the piston skirt.
Is this one number 3?
It is number 3. And again, I think this one doesn't sound as pitchy as that one, but it does. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but it sounds slightly different. But we looked this one over, and we're not really.
This is number 1, and he's about to see that it's busted as well.
Visual of crack in this one. possibly here, but I can't tell if that's a scratch.
Yeah.
Okay, right there it is. That is a crack. And in a moment, he's going to rotate the piston, and you'll see the crack travel right on down to the top of the piston. Now, you'll probably see that a lot of these cracks are on the spark plug side of the piston. Okay? And that makes sense, doesn't it? If you're getting detonation or you over temp it, overheat it, it's going to be more on the combustion starting side of the cylinder.
Whoops. Maybe like a crack.
But does it continue down?
There it is.
See.
Yep, I do see it. So yes, but this one doesn't seem to continue across the top of the piston dish. But yes, there is a line out here and one that steps down into the dish, which would make sense because this one sounds a little different than the other ones as well.
Where's your pointer? Here, wait. Let me do it.
Now, I want you to watch his whole video, if you would, and also watch the one where, watch all of them, but he's got, he tells you how he illuminated the cracks even better by using baby powder. So, check it out, man. I hope you got to enjoy that. It's very important that when you use the ring the bell method, that you hold the pistons exactly the same. You don't want to hold one like this and hold one like this. Okay, hold them all the same. Make sure they're all in the exact same condition, meaning either clean or oily, or the rings are on or rings are off. And you're just listening for a different sound, because they should all make the same sound. And if you hear one that's the tone just isn't quite right, you better look. I teach people the look, listen, feel method, and I learned that method when we were getting ready to deploy. And every platoon, there's generally speaking a minimum of 4 squads per platoon. And every platoon had to have a combat lifesaver. And that's basically kind of a medic of sense. You carry a bag, you carry all the bandages, the IVs, you carry all the needles, atropine, all kinds of stuff to save a soldier's life. If he's blown into pieces, hopefully you can save them. And one of the things the medics taught us was look, listen, feel. You're looking for any kind of hazard. You're looking for blood. You're looking for wet clothing. You're looking for lots of things. You're listening to the chest for gurgling or heartbeat. You're listening very intently, and you're feeling the body for blood or for holes or whatever. Look, listen, feel was very important when you're trying to save someone's life. Well, I just took that. I'm like, you know what? That's perfect for building engines or diagnosing a sound or trying to find a problem with a vehicle or an engine. The look, listen, feel. Visual observation is a big deal. It's a big deal when it comes to machining, when it comes to checking for cracks, or looking, does this fit just right? Is this at the right angle? Listening to your lifters, listening to your rocker arms, listening to everything. One of the things that I do to find if it's got a bad rod bearing is if the rod bearing is making noise, pull the spark plug off. The wire. Pull the wire off while it's running. And first of all, when you're checking for a rod bearing, you just want to barely crack the throttle. In, like that. And on the deceleration, you'll hear the knock. It'll rev in, and you hear the knock as it's decelerating. pull the wire off that plug and check it again. If the noise goes away, that's the piston that has the rod knock. That's the cylinder that has the rod knock. Simple things like that. And checking spark plugs for cracks. Get some little grease on your hand, rub the porcelain real good. If that thing is cracked, that grease will find it for you every time, 100% of the time. And these are just things I've learned over the years that I want to pass on to people. So when Ronnie called me about this issue, it dawned on me, oh man, Mr. Welch showed me how to do this. And it just came to me instantly. I haven't done that in so long, but pistons, you know, they crack. They get overheated, you get bad fuel, somebody left the distributor loose, or the timing is just way out of whack. And, you know, if you're firing that fuel in the wrong time, it's like hitting that piston with a sledgehammer, and it cracks them. If you overheat them, especially a cast piston, it can swell so tight it cracks. You know, lots of reasons why you can have a cracked piston. Sometimes it just could be fatigue. But you don't want to make the mistake of deciding you're going to re-ring an engine and have a cracked piston. It's really good to know what caused the failure before you put it back together. And that's what Ronnie was doing. He's like, I want to know what's wrong with this thing. I haven't found a problem. So when he called me, I went right to it because of what Mr. Welch has showed me. So Ronnie did a fantastic job finding that crack, and I wanted to share that with you. Like I said, go to his channel, subscribe, and like. You know, just show him some support. He's just a good old guy. He's a veteran like me. We were stationed at some of the same places, and that's him and his wife. They make a great team, and I'm all about supporting good people, and I just thought you would really love that. So, hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get this cam video out today or tonight. Trying to get it done, guys. Been so busy. The prayers have paid off, guys. My dad is doing night and day better. They're talking about letting him come home on the 25th, which is next Wednesday. It's unbelievable. The therapist is talking about just his progress is amazing. He's working his butt off. So, you know, and I'm back and forth. It's a 5-hour drive. I'm going there every few days and coming back. And thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it. All right. See you soon.